Today we are going to study about what? The lateral lemniscus. That's one of the nerve nuclei. You understand what's a nerve nuclei? Correct? For instance, let's say I look at her and do something like this. What happened to her? Sibling nerve. It's going into a startle, right? This particular startle is mediated by this particular nuclei known as the lateral lemniscus. Loud is for L, lateral lemniscus is for L. So remember, one of the core functions of the lateral lemniscus is the startle reflex, which will look in children so as to identify out whether they are responding to sound or not. It's processed at the level of lateral lemniscus. Now we have understood out, if you look at this, just a review, we have external ear till here, we have a middle ear, 3 bones, 6 valves, we have inner ear coded out in orange. From there comes out a nerve known as the vestibulocochlear nerve, which goes inside the internal auditory meatus. If you want to have a look at the internal auditory meatus, it looks something like this particular hole, which comes out of this yellow part known as the petrous part of the temporal bone. Clear? So as the nerve comes out, it forms a set of nerve nuclei, which is coded out in the mnemonic CN S L lim K. Cochlear nucleus, superior auditory complex, lateral lemniscus, inferior colliculus, medial genital body, and the auditory cortex. Okay. So today we are going to study about the third nuclei in the central auditory pathway known as the lateral lemniscus. The lateral lemniscus is located where? Brain in the skull. Broca's area, Wernicke's area have been coded out. If we take this out, then we have the brainstem here. Inside will be the midbrain. The orange part is the pons, and the peach part is the medulla. So if we take it up like this, then we can see that at the junction of the medulla and the pons was the cochlear nucleus. At the caudal part of the pons was the superior olivary complex, and the lateral lemniscus would be in the upper portion of the pons, posterior laterally. So we take it to the upper portions of the pons, let's say, and this is known as the lateral lemniscus. Okay, upper portion of the pons, and this upper portion of the pons contains out the lateral lemniscus, which is located posterior laterally, which means what? Posterior means this is anterior, so it will be located posteriorly, and laterally means towards the side, so it will be more towards this side and more behind, posterior laterally. Clear? One more distinguishing feature of the lateral lemniscus is that it is connected. Right? Do you see this? And this is known as the commissure of Probst. Right? So once it is connected, that means it will have both monaural as well as binaural inputs. Remember that. That's another distinguishing thing of the lateral lemniscus. This amount of introduction will go into the lateral lemniscus. We all have understood about the location of the lateral lemniscus, which is the upper portion of the pons, posterior laterally. Sections. There are 2 major sections and 1 minor section. The 2 major sections are ventral nucleus of the lateral lemniscus and the dorsal nucleus of the lateral lemniscus. The 1 minor section of the lateral lemniscus is the intermediate nuclei of the lateral lemniscus. These are shortly coded as VNL, DNLL, INLL. right? As I told you, the lateral lemniscus would be having both monaural and binaural inputs because of the commissure of Probst. So here the dorsal nuclei of lateral lemniscus, D for dorsal and D for double. So it has binaural inputs which are going into it. So we have the DNL, which is a part of binaural pathway, while the other two nuclei, which are the VNLL, have monaural inputs. Done? Clear? So because of this monaural binaural inputs, there will be other capabilities which will be coming in terms of processing out the input which comes in. Next, what are the cell types? The cell types are of two in nature. One is bushy and the other is stellate. This is the basic distribution of the cells in the VNLL, right? Ventral nuclei. Then the cells have both ipsilateral and contralateral input that is known. The tonotopic representation of the lateral lemniscus. One thing to be remembered out well is that it does not have very good frequency representations. Okay, we have a set of excitatory cells and we have a set of inhibitory cells. Correct? Fine. We have seen the superior alveolar complex also. A set of cells get excited, a set of cells get inhibited. Lateral lemniscus has quite a number of inhibitory cells. Correct? So, three groups of inhibitory cells are located in the lateral lemniscus. It has quite a bit of inhibitory cells. So, if you see the tonotopic representation, dorsal nuclei, high frequencies and low frequencies. High frequencies are located ventrally and low frequencies are located dorsally. Ventrally means towards the front. So if you see it like this, then there are two chips here now. There are two chips here. So this one, which is towards the behind, would be the dorsal section and towards the front would be the ventral section. The dorsal section would be having which representation? Low frequency representation. That means this part would be having low frequency representation and the ventral part would be having high frequency representation. Furthermore, it doesn't have very good tonotopic organization because of the corkscrew pattern or the helicoid pattern which is there in the ventral nuclei. Done. Functions, it mediates out the acoustic startle reflexes. Acoustic reflexes are often the middle ear reflexes. So we'll say that it mediates out the, once there's a loud sound, there's a startle which comes in. Very prominent in children below 1 year of age, which is not yet integrated. So it's mediated out at the level of lateral lemniscus. Furthermore, if you test out, then in the ABR, the most prominent peak of the ABR is the fifth peak. That you'll be studying out later. This fifth peak has a peak and a trough. The peak of the ABR, the positive peak of the ABR fifth peak is represented out by the lateral lemniscus. Positive peak, that's the fifth peak, positive part of the ABR is mediated by the lateral lemniscus. Pathologies. When lesions are confined to the lateral lemniscus, the characteristic wave of the fifth peak, which is the most prominent peak, would be changing out. Commissure of Probst, we have seen that there is a connection between both the lateral lemniscus known as the commissure of Probst. It has quite a bit in terms of temporal resolution as compared to the cochlear nucleus down below and the superior alveolar complex also. The temporal resolution or the time related resolution is very well represented at the level of lateral lemniscus. We don't have a very good frequency or tonotopic representation, but temporal representation of sounds and decoding happens out very well. Understood?